Hi, it's Shannon here. I'm back from houseimprovements.com, and in today's video I just want to give you a little run through on the rough-in plumbing. We've had an inspection and everything is passed, but I did have a couple deficiencies and I'm going to show you what they were eventually in the video and how I fixed them. So anyways, right now I'm standing in the kitchen. Just to give you a little bit of reference, I'm in the kitchen right here. Over to this side, we've got the front door over there. So you walk in over here. At the door, we've got a big closet to put things away. Probably a bench here to sit down. Sorry about the lighting. It's a little dark this morning yet. So over there, as I'm standing in the kitchen, I can see the bathroom, which is in that area there. Okay, so bathroom. That doorway there heads back into the master bedroom, which is right here. And then we've got the living room over to this side. Like I said, this video is all about the rough-in plumbing and the couple of deficiencies that I had and what I did to fix them or correct them. And I was pretty happy, honestly. First time plumbing an entire home like this, and just to have a couple little minor issues, I thought I did pretty good. So anyways, I'm going to take the camera off the stand and walk around and show you things. So I think that's going to be the most efficient. Okay, so to start with, we'll talk about the kitchen. So basically we are going to have the sink right here, just offset on the window a little bit, sink and dishwasher to its left. So for the sink hookup, we've obviously got our 1.5-inch drain, okay, and it runs back through the studs here and into our main, not our main, but our one of our stack vents that are right here. Okay, so water will obviously flow in there, drop down, and this is the vent going up over here. Where are we? Right here. Up into the attic, and it runs back across the house and hooks into the main stack, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. So this is where, when this water in the kitchen rushes out of the sink or dishwasher, this is where I'm drawing air from to get behind that water to help it drain. So we've got 1.5-inch ABS. You might have PVC, we use ABS here. So 1.5-inch ABS dumping into a 2-inch drain and 2-inch vent. Okay, so I think maybe we should just deal with the drain lines right now in this video. I think it's going to get too confusing if I jump back and forth. So as we talked about, we've got our 2-inch vent going up here and goes through those 2 plates there. You can see I've spray foamed the holes, try to stop any airflow. But that 2-inch vent continues up and then it elbows off right there. Okay, so I got up here actually in the attic. So that's where our 2-inch came up from the kitchen. And then I've got it suspended all the way along here. You can see I've got some grade to it so that if any condensation is in this vent pipe, it actually drains down and through that drain over there. Okay, so 2-inch I've got it strapped about every 4 feet. You can see my metal strapping there, I think. Okay, nothing fancy. It comes across over here. It picks up another vent, which is something I had to add in. So we'll talk about that in a bit. And just keeps continuing way over there. I need to get a little more light over there so you can see. Okay, I think that's a little better. So this is our 2-inch drain right here. Coming across. Turns another corner over there, and it drains into our main stack, which is right here. Okay, So here's our main stack. You can see I've got the top part of it wrapped in insulation to keep it from freezing up in the winter. Although we're not planning on being out here in the winter, it was still required by the building code guy, plumbing inspector. And that was one of the other corrections I had to do. I've got a 3-inch main going all the way from through the roof, right down through the main floor, down into the basement floor. What they would have liked to see is that 3-inch come up to just above this horizontal. And before it went through the roof, they would have liked to see that upsized to 4-inch to prevent frost buildup and freezing up. The way around that is to insulate that pipe to try to keep it warmer. So that's what they had me do, was insulate that pipe. So now as I come into the bathroom, you can see this is my 3-inch main stack coming down from the attic right above where we were just talking and going through the floor. So that's my main. From my vanity sink, this is my drain here for the sink. Okay, so 1.5 inches going in through the wall and then draining into this 2-inch drain / vent. Okay, so that's a 2-inch and that kicks over. This is 2-inch all the way going up, and that's what you've seen up top here. That's what you see up top over there, hooking into the side of the 3-inch on the right. Is that 2-inch vent. Now, something you're also seeing here is another line coming off of that 2-inch vent. Okay, that vent is going downstairs to vent the bathroom sink. Okay, so we'll see that downstairs in a minute. So that's why those are kind of doubled up there. It's pulling off of this. It's hooked in above the floodplain of this sink down here. Okay, so my countertop's at this height. And this has to tie in above that floodplain. Okay, this vent here is just 1.5 inches. All right. Seems like a lot of extra work, but once you get going at it, it's really not that bad. And without it, in most places, you're not going to pass inspection. You're not going to pass inspection just using this drain for both sinks in most areas. Notice this fitting here. See how it's kind of curved on this edge and it's more straight on that edge. Okay, normally in a drain system, that'd be flipped the other way. You'd have the curved side down, you know, so water coming into that, well, here, just like this one. This one here is intended to drain water, right? So it's got the curved area on the downward where the water would run, not at the top. This one here is made because it's a vent. It's the same fitting, it's just flipped upside down because it's venting air. So your air is being pulled around that corner. It's not really being pulled up and around this bottom corner here. It needs to come here. So that's one thing to remember in your vents, to flip those. This here is my toilet stub out. This is the toilet flange, but it's obviously not attached yet till after I do my flooring. So there's my toilet. My tub drain will go down into that cutout down there. Okay, so here's one of the extra vents I had to add, and we'll show you downstairs in a few minutes. But I had a vertical drain down there that's actually below this floor. It's coming from over there where the kitchen sink goes through the floor, and it drains across horizontally and drops down in the basement into what they're calling as a stack. And I guess I needed the top of that stack to be vented, even though it's really is vented from this pipe, right? And there's actually even another one hooked to it, but apparently I can't have a vertical stack without a vent coming out the top of it. So luckily, the bathtub's going to be right in this area, and the back of the bathtub is sloped. So I was able to come up through the floor, angle over up into the corner of this wall, and tie a vent back in up there. I think you can see it better from up here. Where are we? Right there. So I had to cut that 2-inch that was running through the attic and tee into it to vent that. Okay, again, not a big deal. Luckily I was able to run it this way. Otherwise I would have had to do some more finagling around to come up through that wall plate. But I was between some floor joists and this was going to be the simplest. So anyways, my couple of fixes were this, adding this vent and insulating that main vent, main stack. And all of that passed inspection now. So okay, so now we've come past the front door again. And there's the door. I'm at the basement stairs now. So it's going down into the basement. Here's another stack. Lots of vents, I should say. It's a vent. So this vent again. So this vent runs across, comes straight up this wall, which is the back of the bathroom. Okay, this is the plumbing wall on the bathroom. Okay. It comes up, runs across, back over to that main stack. And it ties into the main stack. And that's just a vent for the, what is that? That's a vent for the bathtub. Okay, so it comes in down here. Here's where the bathtub drain will be. And it ties in below the floor. Okay, so remember, this was the back side of the main floor bathroom. This is our plumbing wall. Here's all our drain for our sink and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm going down the stairwell now into the basement. So this is the same wall. Okay, I kept all my plumbing drains and sinks and everything for the vanities all lined up. So that's the same wall. Okay, so we're going to come around and into the bathroom. So this is the bathroom in the basement. Okay, so we see our same 3-inch main stack. That's it coming down here. Okay, right down into the floor. Okay, we've got our main floor toilet drain coming around and all in there. So that's the toilet's draining into the main. I don't know if you remember back, I had a contractor do the rough in below the slab, below the concrete floor. So we have a video about that. You might want to just review back to that to get an idea of how all the plumbing is running in the floor, because there was quite a bit of it in there too. So here beside our main stack, this is our 2-inch drain. Okay, right, so that's our 2-inch drain coming from upstairs, coming straight down through the floor. So our sink upstairs is draining into that. I've got a little jog here to get lined up to what the plumber did in the concrete. Okay, so that's our drain for that upstairs sink, right? Now, remember I talked about the vent that came off the side up top above the flood level of the sink, vanity sink upstairs. Okay, well that's this 1.5-inch line coming down here. So this is right now our vent for this sink. So there's the drain right here for the bathroom sink in the basement, going across horizontally to this main drain, but this is our vent. Okay, so that's giving us air behind water to drain that sink. So if I come out of the bathroom here and go down the hallway into the utility room, that's just a condensate drain for our HRV that we'll have. It circulates air through the house. Anyways, that was in the floor plumbing, so I'm not dealing really with that in this video. But over here, here's our drain pipe. Now remember I said I had to, this is one of the fixes I had to do. So up top of that drain pipe, it was just capped off. And apparently I can't do that. So I've got a drain slash wet vent coming this way and a drain slash wet vent coming this way. But apparently, because this is the actual vertical drain, it had to be vented itself straight up the top. So that line there goes up top and angles across. And that's what I showed you there before I came downstairs. Okay, so that was one of the other fixes I had to do. I got to buy a new tool for that one. So that was good. So this drain here, where are we? Right there. Okay, so our kitchen is over across the house, or across the cabin over on this side. So that drain goes up there and up through the floor. And that's our kitchen and dishwasher drain. And that's hooked to that vent that goes up through the outside wall and across the attic. Okay, so that's that one. This one coming off here is 1.5 inches. And it's for the bathtub upstairs. Okay, so it comes off of this vertical drain that I had to fix. Comes over here, and you can see there's a Y there, and that Y is where my vent ties in. That's the one in the corner of the wall that we were standing looking at in the stairwell. So it ties in to help drain the tub. And over here is the end of the pipe that'll hook to the P-trap when the tub's installed. Okay, here's the vent coming down through that corner. Remember, there's the hole for the tub drain. And there's that vent over there. So it's really hard to really show you this completely, running around with a little camera. It's obviously a lot more clear when you're standing here looking, but that's not an option for you guys. So I'm trying to show you exactly the best I can what I had to do and convey all that information through the lens of the camera. So you can see we've got cleanouts down here. There's one on that 2-inch drain for the vanity sinks. There's a big one on the main stack right there. I don't think we'll make it a separate video. Let's go back and show you the water lines now. So since we're in the basement, we'll start here. So in this utility room, we're going to have a tank here, a pump on the ground, going up to our water heater and our supply lines. So these lines here are going to be supply, okay, for cold water. And that's our hot water. All right. So I don't obviously have this stuff hooked up. It's just a rough-in, but basically, the pump will suck from the tank, which will push water into one of these lines here, and that'll branch off to a manifold which will supply all the cold water in the cabin, okay, and as well as fill the hot water heater. From the hot water heater, then these lines here will get hooked to a manifold and they supply the hot throughout the cabin. So I'm using 3/4 inch kind of for the main PEX A lines, and then I'm branching off with 1/2 inch, feeding all the different systems. Okay, so as the cold comes up, you can see I've got two main cold lines here, right? These two 3/4 inch lines, right? One is feeding the main floor and one is feeding the basement. Now I really didn't have to do that, but I kind of like to isolate things that way, so that's what I did. I could have just ran one line and teed off of it for all the different various things, but this way if I need to isolate or shut down the main floor from the basement or whatever, I can do that. Okay, so this is all PEX A. I've got lots of videos on PEX A and PEX B for that matter. I prefer the PEX A, so that's what I use. So it's a compression type plumbing. So you've got your PEX pipe, And then you've got these expansion rings. And again, I have videos that show you how this all goes, but basically there's a tool that's, once you slide this on the pipe, you stretch the tube, slip it onto your fittings, and it wants to continually get back. It has a memory to it, so it wants to get back to its original size. So it basically shrinks back down and clamps tight. So those are all the fittings you can see there. So there are, in my area, I can get blue, red, and white. So what I typically like to do is at least mark one end at a fitting with a color. So it just reminds me, you know, what I'm kind of dealing with at a glance if I ever have to go do any repairs or add or whatever. So I've drilled the pipes through the joists. So depending on your joist manufacturer's instructions, we'll tell you what you can do for that. But I was able to drill my holes just like so. So again, remember, I'm in the basement looking up into the floor joists above me for the main floor. So here on this cold line, this tee off is going over, and that's going to the kitchen sink upstairs. Okay. Over here, we've got a hot line, right? It's red. That's the tee for the kitchen sink hot supply, right? So those are running over there. So you can see I've got my upper pipe. Upper pipe's our main floor, lower pipe is the basement, right? Keep it simple. So these 3/4 inch PEX lines are just going to keep feeding across. Step through the wall here. And you can see I've got more joints here, right? So that upper blue one up there, right there, is coming over, and that's feeding my toilet upstairs. No, that's feeding my shower, sorry. That's feeding the shower. No, it's not. Nope, that's the toilet. That's the toilet. Shower lines are over here. Okay, so this video is more just about what I did. You know, you can see where they're strapped, how I ran the pipes. Kept it pretty simple, basic, didn't get too overly complicated. Now, I don't have any water hooked up, obviously, or anything. So what I did with this line here, I came down in the shower and I just looped it, because I've got to do a pressure test too, right? So I need all these systems to be closed. So this one's hot and this one's cold. But when you're doing the test, everything's looped together as one system. So I just didn't cut the pipe, I just left the loop all the way there. I could have cut the pipe and just capped it, but whatever, I just left it looped. It'll get cut when the shower valve gets installed. Anyways, more plumbing up in here. Okay, kind of boring stuff, right? Then, so in my bathroom, this is the basement bathroom, I've got my stub outs. I still like copper stubbing out through the wall, so I've got copper stub outs under my sink and for my toilet. Okay, so I just purchased these. They had the proper PEX A fitting on the end. Actually, I'll show you one of these upstairs. I think I have some spares, but they're just nailed to the framing. So everything's good and solid. Now, when it comes time to put a valve on here, I just simply cut the end of that off and put my valve on. So I like the look of the copper coming through the wall rather than the PEX. The PEX kind of sags and hangs there sloppy. Just looks sloppy, I think. Okay, so that is down here. So if you look in my kitchen, under the kitchen floor, there's my hot line. Hot's on the left when you're facing the sink. Cold's on the right. Okay, we just drilled through the floor. Okay, so let's go back upstairs. Okay, so we're back up on the main floor in the bathroom. Here's one of those pre-made copper fittings I was talking about downstairs. So in my case, I've got the PEX A end on it, and this is how they come. Okay, so very handy. I just bought mine off Amazon, and you can use our Amazon affiliate link to get yourself some too. So really basic. Under the vanity, we've got our hot and cold coming up, right? Hot on the left, cold on the right. There's our supply for our toilet and our shower. Okay, so you can see on the shower ones, I just ran them up, capped them off with a shark bite cap for now. All right, so that's the water there. And back in the kitchen, I'm at the sink, and you can see I've got my hot on the left, cold on the right, and I've just got them teed together because this is where I'll hook up for my pressure test. And I'm going to have a separate video to show you how to pressure test your plumbing with air. So I don't think there's anything else I can really show you on the rough-in. I think I covered everything for the drain lines, vent lines, and the plumbing. It was just a rough go over to give you a basic idea of how to run it, what you kind of need. So hopefully it was informative. Not everywhere will likely let you do your own plumbing. I'm doing this with a homeowner permit because this will be my own cabin. I'm not flipping this place or anything like that, so I'm allowed to take out a permit myself. We passed the inspection, as I said before, so that's all done, at least the first inspection for the rough-in. They will come back again when I'm completely done and just give another quick check. So look for my video for how to pressure test your rough-ins. And if you're watching this video early, that video is probably not coming out for a couple weeks afterwards. So if you don't see it right away, just keep checking back. If you're watching this video, 2-3 weeks after it's been aired, then you should be able to find this, and we'll probably have a link in the description of this video right below here. So as always, smash the thumbs up. That likes the video. Subscribe to our channel. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. This cabin build's been phenomenal, not to mention the other 300 videos we had before we started the cabin build. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and keep watching.